Okay, so this Ryobi stick vacuum, the roller bar part isn't spinning when I put power to it. So I am going to check this with a multimeter to see if we have continuity from here where the power goes to it. It's going to be rerouted to a board and then to a motor. I'll show you once I get this. You got to take all the screws out and then I'll show you what it looks like inside. Okay, once you get those screws out, then you're gonna turn it over and you're gonna pull the top off. Okay. So I replaced this hose because it was all cracked, and I bought some replacement hose, about 6 inches of replacement hose for about $8 on Amazon, and I'll put that in the description. But basically what you're trying to check is you're trying to check these pins on one side and see if it is showing any power in these wire nuts. And if it is not showing any continuity power, then you have a break somewhere along this line. That's how you check continuity. So let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay, the way you test continuity is you put your multimeter on this symbol right here. You want it to have sound, so you might have to hit a button to put sound on. That came up as sound now. Now when I touch these together to test it, you'll hear that noise. And that noise makes you aware that there is continuity between these two. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be putting one pin onto this guy, and then going down here to the black, and you're going to put the other end of it in there. And if you have continuity, you'll hear that noise. Let me see if I can get it set up before so we can tell if there's continuity, so I can hold the camera too. Okay, so I have the one probe in the red wire nut, and then I'm going to touch it to this one right here. So we have continuity, okay? So, and then the next one, I'm going to put this probe into the black wire nut, and then we're going to touch this one, and there is no continuity. So I have to figure out where this has a broken wire, so it's not sending the signal to the board. Okay, when I pulled this out, this piece was fine, and this one was broken right there. See if you can see it there. So I have to strip that back and solder this back onto there, and then it should work again. Okay, just to double check before I solder that piece on, I want to double check to make sure we have continuity from this wire here. Okay, so you got to make sure that the one is in there in the wire nut far enough. Okay, so we have good continuity here. So when I solder the next piece on, and hopefully I can show that, then you can see that it'll be fixed. Okay, so I have a hot soldering gun here, and the first thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of solder to the tip of this, called pre-tin. It just gets something on there for when you go to add solder to the joint here. And what I have is this little handy dandy, it's called, I think it's called like a third hand or something like that. It's a little gadget that holds your wires together. I'm gonna dip this into some flux first. That's a lot of flux. Well, and then I'm gonna have this lay right on top of the other wire. Oh, that's a lot of flux. That's going to make a lot of smoke. So I'm going to have that on there, and then I'm just going to touch this pre-tin thing up to the joint, and then it's going to melt the solder together with the wire. There we go. And this should be nice and solid now. See? And now I'm going to wrap this with some electrical tape, and I'm going to let it cool down and wrap it with some electrical tape, and then we'll put it back into the housing of the vacuum, and it should be usable now. So after soldering this, I put it back in its housing here, and I'm going to screw this part back on. Check continuity first, but it's hard to do with one hand. So now I checked continuity on both of these, and it was good. So now I can reassemble this back into back together, and then screw all the parts back in, and should fire up. Once you get all the screws back in and you turn it on, you'll be able to tell that it's working by the little green light that comes on, and the rollers will start to go around. I'll show you.